Hey friends, it's Ashley and today I am here with a new layout for Hip Kit Club using the July 2019 kits. And I am also working with some of our cut files that were available for the June, July months. And I decided to use the Flamingo, and I'm going to show you how I did this starting from the beginning. So I have it open and I went under panel to trace, and I'm going to do select trace area and highlight over the entire Flamingo and then hit trace. And once I do that, it's going to give me my cut lines, but I need to get rid of the excess stuff that I don't want. So I just click on my image, go to object and do release compound path. And that separates everything so I can go in and delete these pieces that I don't need. So once I get rid of that, I'm going to highlight over my Flamingo because it's all separate pieces, and I'm going to size it down just a little bit. And you can back cut files in several different ways. I'm going to show you how I did mine with an offset. But once your image is released like this, you can move out all of the inside pieces, and then you can just cut this outline and it's going to automatically fit with your cut file. So you can do it that way if you want to. It's really easy. I did an offset, so I'm going to go back and select the outline, and I'm going to do offset. And I'm just going to click offset here. It usually automatically does it at 0.125, and that's what I wanted it on, so I left it like that. And then I have the little area in between the Flamingo legs. So for that one, I need to do the internal offset, and I just kept it at the same settings. So now I can take out that center part, and when I cut this, it's going to fit perfectly with an offset border with my cut file. So you can see those here, and I've got one already finished. And the reason that I wanted to do it with this offset was because I wanted to use these on a white background pattern paper, and I wouldn't have minded so much having the body of the flamingo backed with the pattern paper because it would have stood out, but having the legs up against the white pattern paper, it just would not have stood out very well. So that's why I like having the pink border from the pattern paper. And that paper is actually from American Crafts from the Dear Lizzie It's All Good collection. And this is another tip: if you have little pieces that need to go back inside of a cut file, save all your cut parts and then you can use it as kind of a template. So you can see how I use that to put the eye and the wing back in, and it just fits in there. And once you have it adhered down, you can just pull that away and get rid of it. So I cut two of the flamingos because I wanted them to kind of mimic like a kind of a heart shape, I guess you would say, with the beaks facing one another. And of course, they are pink flamingos. This layout is going to have a lot of pink on it. So I'm going to put those two kind of facing one another and just make sure they're lined up. And I also wanted to add some fussy cutting. This paper from Pink Fresh Studio, I think I've fussy cut to death. I've done it for Hip Kit Club, and I've done it for Pink Fresh Studio layouts also. I just really love this one for fussy cutting. So I wanted to get some of these flowers to kind of go behind my photo, and just kind of continuing with that tropical look for a beach day. And I really like these colors behind the photo. Since I did the photo in black and white, it really helps everything pop. So I don't really care that this has a straight edge because I'm going to actually be tucking it under my photo so it won't show. And I'm just going to do a couple of these here for you so you can get an idea of kind of how I'm using them in the design. This is actually the back side of that paper, so you have florals on both sides of that one that you can cut. So I wanted to kind of break up the pink a little bit with some black and white, and so I'm going to do actually three of these, and I'm going to do several more of the pink flowers off camera just to get all those cut so you don't have to watch me fussy cut everything. And so now you can get an idea kind of how that's going to look. Now I have these all cut, and I want to kind of keep them in place where I had them. So I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive and get those glued down, kind of trying to keep them in place and just getting all of them where I kind of had them placed already behind the photo. And I do want these to kind of be glued down a little bit more than usual because I am going to embellish and add my title over the florals. So a lot of times I'll kind of leave the leaves or the edges sticking up just to add that dimension. But since I'm going to be layering those other embellishments, I want them to lay a little bit flatter. So I used some dimensional foam behind my photo, and I realized that I had cut my photo crooked somehow. I don't know how I did that with a straight edge cutter. So I just got it and trimmed that side down to make it more even. And now I had a few of the pieces that I wanted to go back and get in place, so I'm just going to add those. Some of these black and white flowers I'm going to pop up. This one I actually put some adhesive on the top part, and then I'm going to put a piece of that dimensional foam because it's going to be layered over the photo, but part of it is going to be off the photo. So I wanted to match that height of my photo. And this is why I wanted to put my title over the flowers, because I had a white cardstock background and I was going to use these white letters from Pink Fresh Studio and do the title Beach Fun. So I really wanted these to be over those flowers so they would stand out from the background and not be right up against that white. And I really like the way that looks. It's just kind of fresh and clean looking up against all the fussy cut florals. And just having it right there under my photo helps to draw your eye there too, so the title doesn't really get lost. So now I'm going to start on my embellishing, and I pretty much pulled all the Pink Fresh Studio embellishments that I thought would work with this kind of layout. Those are the phrase stickers, and so I just added one of those that says Escape Reality, which kind of is good for a beach day photo. And then the puffy sticker pack had some other flowers, and I wanted to break up the pink a little bit. So the one that I chose for the top left hand corner had some green leaves, and so I chose that other little leaf puffy sticker. And then this it's just a little flower itself with some leaves and everything to go right there at the bottom to kind of create a little triangle around the photo. So now I'm going to go through the ephemera pieces. I wanted to bring in some yellow because yellow is my favorite color, and I've had this little arrow piece forever since we got our kits, and I really wanted to use it. So I layered it over my photo, and I'm kind of looking for any other pieces, yellow pieces that I can add, and I still had the word fabulous. And so that would bring some yellow to the top of my page. So I just added some liquid adhesive behind that because it was kind of skinny, so I thought that would work better than trying to use my tape runner. And then I needed one other yellow thing, and fortunately I had this tag and I didn't need the whole thing, so I just did with you and trimmed it off. And then I'm going to add it there under the title. So I like how that has the yellow above the photo, on the photo, and below the photo. And I also wanted to bring in some different texture with the little enamel dots here that are Pink Fresh Studio 2. All of the Pink Fresh Studio is from the Just a Little Lovely collection. So I added a few of those, and I want to do my date here at the bottom of the page. And I also decided to bring in some more pink. This paper is from Echo Park Best Summer Ever, and I just wanted to do these little border strips, so I just cut those about 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to do one at the top and the bottom, and I do add some machine stitching to those off camera. So that finishes up the layout. I hope you enjoyed watching and seeing my process for backing a cut file, and hopefully gave you some ideas for using the Hip Kit Club cut files. I'll leave a link to those in the description box. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time.